but I would love for you to knock out David Benavidez. He talks too much, though.
Yeah, I talk too much. That's not the way to make a fight. That's why I don't pay attention.
Right.
I do my things and just watch.
It's that time of the year again. Boxing is treating the fans with one of the most competitive matchups we've ever seen in the history of combat sports. And I'm talking about one David Benavidez versus Demetrius. Yep, if you were one waiting to see an evenly contested match in boxing, well, this might be it for you. Because we got two undefeated fighters going head-to-head with each other. Both fighters have only tasted victory until now, because this time somebody's has got to go. This fight announcement has sent the entire boxing community into a frenzy, and the pros are already giving their predictions for this epic clash. Well, it's a tough one to call. Anyone can win this fight. But there's one man who disagrees. Boxing superstar Canelo Alvarez has put his entire faith in Benavidez to wipe the floor with Demetrius with ease. Now we all know that Alvarez is not one to side with any fighter, but a certain sparring footage might be enough to switch things up. And if you're on the internet, you just know that Benavidez releases a ton of training footage. And when the super middleweight champion stumbled across his training footage, let's just say he had a very unexpected reaction. So without further ado, let's take a deep dive into this drama. After David Benavidez beat Caleb Plant in a dominant fashion, the fans wanted one thing and one thing only, and that was Benavidez going up against the champ, Canelo Alvarez. That fight made perfect sense, because who better opponent than Benavidez for Alvarez? Well, there was one, and he's the man himself, Demetrius. This guy has got a better record than Benavidez. Put some respect on the man's name. He's an undefeated warrior. Don't let his nickname fool you, they call him Boo Boo. But in the ring, Demetrius is your worst nightmare. It made sense that Benavidez fights Boo Boo, and the winner gets a shot at the king, Canelo. Canelo at first had a simple take on this matchup. He said, "Both the fighters are really good at what they do. It's hard to pick one. It's gonna be a great fight. I'll be keeping my eye on the winner." Now this is what almost everyone boxing purist said. No one really knows who's got this fight in the bag, which makes it even bigger. But well, all changed when the Mexican monster Benavidez released an impressive boxing footage, and this footage blew Canelo's mind. Benavidez saw what the world was saying about his matchup with Boo Boo, and let's just say he didn't like people saying that his opponent has a chance of winning. Well, when it comes to fighters like David Benavidez, ego always comes into play. So the Mexican monster released a sparring footage, and it affected Canelo more than it did Demetrius. Here's why. In the footage, we can see the Mexican monster completely annihilate his sparring partner. Benavidez knocked him down and then flatlined him. Guys, keep in mind, we're talking about a spar here. These guys were in head guards and 16-ounce gloves. It takes crazy power to knock some out cold water with those big gloves. And David Benavidez did it. The Mexican monster was never really known for his power, but now this training footage proved that he's a force to be reckoned with. And boxing sensation Canelo Alvarez can't help but praise him. Yep, you heard that right. This is probably the first time we've Canelo Alvarez talking about a fighter like this. I mean, this guy didn't even give Floyd Mayweather any credit as a boxer. And money is considered to be the greatest of all time. No one saw this coming. But you can't blame him. Benavidez's sparring footage was just that good. Just take a look at what Canelo said about this. Wow, I'm truly impressed. The head movement was good, he's quick on his feet, the defense is good, and I gotta say I never took him for a power puncher, but this guy can hit hard. I think he's gonna beat Demetrius easily. I got him winning by knockout. Canelo praising someone is something I'd see. But hey, there's a first time for everything, right? But don't get too ahead of yourselves. Canelo might be thinking one step ahead of us. This could all be part of his mind games. Who's to say Canelo isn't only hyping him up just so when Canelo beats Benavidez, his win looks even bigger? Now that could be a big brain move by this Mexican superstar. But David Benavidez is not one to fall for anything. In a recent interview, he responded to Canelo. And let's just say it made this drama even more interesting, Benavidez said. "I don't know what Canelo is trying to do here. This guy has always disliked me and now he's switching up. This guy is two-faced, and I can't wait to knock him out after I finish the job with Demetrius. I know what I can do. I don't need someone like Canelo to tell me what I already know." Damn, I mean Canelo only praised and the Mexican monster fired back with smoke. Now imagine what would have happened if Canelo Alvarez trash-talked about him. David Benavidez would have unleashed hell. This just shows that this guy is already in the fight zone. And he's not the only one who's got issues with Canelo. Oh no, now we've got Demetrius taking shots at Alvarez. Everybody wants to have a go at the head of the table. I mean, it's Canelo Alvarez. He's the face of boxing. Who wouldn't dare want to fight this guy? He's the biggest name in the sport, and Demetrius is desperate for that Canelo fight. But Alvarez won't give him the opportunity. He's made it extremely that he doesn't himself entertain that fight. Alvarez said, "He's all right, but I'm levels above him. He just wants my attention. He knows he'll get his brains blown out by me. I'd rather fight Benavidez. He's the better fighter." Now that's gotta sting. Canelo ate that up. His mind is set on Benavidez and him only. He's the fight Canelo wants. And if there's one thing we know about this Mexican champion, it's that he always gets what he wants. Call it one of the perks of being the best in the scene, because that's what Canelo Alvarez is. And the only man who stands a chance against him is the fellow Mexican, David Benavidez. And you don't gotta believe me for that. Hear it from the legend Mike Tyson instead. If there's one person who knows everything there is to know about boxing, it's Iron Mike. And Mike rates David as a great fighter and calls him a threat to anyone who steps into the ring against him. Did you know that Mike Tyson is the one who gave David the nickname, the Mexican Monster? And this fighter rightly stuck by this name. And if the legend himself is praising you, then you gotta be something special. Mike Tyson has talked about him quite a few times. In a recent interview, the legend Iron Mike said this about him: "He's a really great fighter. Listen, I'd be afraid to fight him too if I was in that division. No one even has a chance against him as it appears to be, and I'm talking from facts. He's the only fighter that has what it takes to beat Canelo." Now, if Iron Mike says something with chest, I'd be listening with both ears. Now, that's a big statement there, coming from Big Mike Benavidez beating Canelo in a pro bout. Now, that's not the hottest take in the boxing community. And this surely didn't sit right with Alvarez. And so he did what every other boxer does. He retaliated. "Mike, you don't know anything about this sport. You were the past. But I am the present and the future. I am the face of boxing. And just because I said David is good, it doesn't mean he can still beat me. I'll get him out of there within 2 rounds. Now, who's that? Because that's the Canelo Alvarez we know. Look at him doing all the trash talking. Mike surely struck a nerve there, because Alvarez left nothing in the bag here. And this doesn't end here. Canelo has too many enemies at this point, but the biggest and baddest of them all is the man himself, Terence Crawford. Bud and Alvarez have always had their issues in the past, and from the looks of it, they're still not over it, especially Bud. When Benavidez released his training footage, Bud jumped right at the opportunity to take digs at Canelo. The American boxer said, "This is class. Canelo must be shivering right now. Benavidez will beat Demetrius, and then he's going to completely destroy Canelo. The whole world will know that Canelo ain't all that. He ain't the top dog. Can't wait for Benavidez to expose this fool." Now we know Terence Crawford always has something to say about Canelo, and it's never been positive. But the more interesting part here is that more and more people are now picking Benavidez to win his fight against Boo Boo ever since he released his sparring footage. I mean, who knows, maybe Demetrius is doing the same in sparring. If I were you, I wouldn't count Boo Boo out just yet. It's going to be an epic night for boxing, and the fans are already talking about it. One of the fans tweeted, "Finally getting a competitive fight. Can't wait for this one. It's going to be nuts." He's not wrong. This fight is going to be one for the ages. Guess we'll have to just wait and see how this one plays out. So there you have it, Fight World. That's all I have for you today. Make sure to like this video, comment, and share. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you next time. Until then, peace out.